Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, beloved friends, and welcome once again to another Divine Laws program where you and I study the laws that govern not only our lives but the entire universe. The more we study these laws, the more they are awakened in our consciousness. The more these laws are awakened in our consciousness, the more wiser choices we will make, the more we will be strengthened in order to fulfill God's will for each and every one of us. What a beautiful blessing from on high. And tonight, beloved friends, you and I shall strengthen our souls together by studying question 1006 of the Spirit's book by Kardec. This message, rather, this question is answered directly by the Spirit of Saint Louis. Let us now read the question followed by its illuminated answer together, shall we? So Kardec asks, can the duration of a spirit's suffering be eternal? On earth, there are still those who believe, yes, suffering can be eternal. But does this make sense in light of God's divine laws? Let us find out together. St. Louis answers to Kardec and all of us in the following way. Of course, if it were to remain eternally bad, that is to say, if it were never to repent or improve itself, it would then suffer eternally. However, God has not created beings eternally devoted to evil. They were only created simple and ignorant, and all of them must progress over a longer or shorter period of time according to their own free will. This will can be belated to various degrees, just as there are children who are precocious to various degrees. Sooner or later, however, it will manifest itself by the irresistible need the spirit feels to leave the state of imperfection and to be happy. The law that governs the duration of suffering is therefore eminently wise and beneficent. It subordinates that duration to the spirit's own effort, never depriving it of its free will. If it makes a bad use of it, it will have to bear the consequences. So, what a beautiful illuminated answer given to you and I, to all of us, by the Spirit of St. Louis. Logically, through this answer, we come to understand that no suffering is eternal, that in fact the duration of our suffering depends upon us. The minute you and I make a conscious decision to end the suffering by surrendering to God's loving will for us, we shall free ourselves from the suffering. So, the key to open the door of the prison of suffering is within our reach and within our very own hands. This is the case of all of us, but let us go back to the very case of the Spirit Andre Lewis as he himself relates it to us by the beloved and blessed hands of Chico Xavier in the book Nosso Lar. We learn that he suffers quite intensively in the lower zones in the spiritual realm. However, he was not alone during his suffering. His mother prayed for him constantly, even being by his side, but he could not see. Minister Clarencio also prayed for him incessantly, but he could not hear it. What made Andre Lewis open his spiritual eyes to the reality that God never forsakes anyone? A moment of heartfelt prayer. The minute he surrendered to God, asking God for strength to fulfill God's will, recognizing that God is our creator, then he was able to literally have eyes to see Minister Clarencio, who was right there by his side, and his suffering came to an end. So, how about us, dear friends? Are we willing to recognize God's greatness, kindness, benevolence in our lives? Or do we still believe ourselves to be, quote unquote, the God of our lives? Let us, therefore, dear friends, feeling the invitation of the mentors on high for us tonight, recognize the presence of God in our lives as supreme, as loving, as wise, recognizing the blessings of God, and recognizing that without God, you and I are nothing, because we were not self created. We are the result of God's loving creation. We are God's living creation. Let us then begin to feel God in our lives. Shall we? How shall we do so? By taking note in our hearts of God's blessings each and every day. This is our exercise tonight, so as to develop a heart to heart conversation with our Creator. This is what we shall embrace as our divine task to develop muscles of the soul. Shall we, beloved friends? Let us then raise our thoughts and feelings in gratitude to God, to Master Jesus, and the mentors for preparing these very special moments for us to nourish our souls together. And until we meet again, beloved friends, we wish you many blessings, and we hope that we can all stay tuned right here to Kardec Radio, where we are always having our souls further illuminated by the kind and loving work of the mentor spirits and voice of God. What a blessing! So we look forward to seeing everyone again next time. Bye for now, beloved friends.